Today I thought we could talk about the process of learning songs, and I am quite sure that I have actually talked about this before, either in Q&As and such, but I get asked this so much, so I thought I would dedicate a whole video to it. So let's get starting to talk about learning songs. So the very first thing that you will actually have to meet in terms of learning a song is actually to pick the song out in itself. And here I think that it's really good to be optimistic, but it's also so important to be realistic, because you know personally, you know better than anyone what level you are on, and picking a song that is way out of your league is not a very good move. And we have all been there, don't get me wrong, we have all just, I'm going to learn this song, and then it's just way off there and you're just so sad because you can't learn it and you think that, oh my god, I'm the worst guitarist ever. No, you're not, you're just picking the wrong song for the wrong time. You can learn this song, but in the meantime, it's a really good idea to pick another song. So if you're a beginner, try to find beginner song that you actually like and move your way up from there, which is sort of the second thing, that you actually have to like the song. That helps so much with patience and persistence when you are learning a new song, which is very much needed, especially when you are advancing into more difficult songs to learn. Being patient is actually really important, and it helps you to be patient if you like the song that you are learning. So now you have picked out a song, and now you're going to learn the song, and the first thing that you actually need to do, in my personal opinion, is that you need to listen to the song at least once right before you're learning it. If you're like, okay, I'm gonna learn this song right now, let's say you have picked Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana or something, and you're saying, okay, I have 2 hours to practice now, I'm going to learn this song. The very first thing that you have to do is to listen to the song, because then you, if you know the song beforehand, like you know how it goes in your head, you're pushing all that knowledge on how it goes on the very front of your mind and on the tip of your ears. So you're actually quite aware of what you're going to have to pay attention to when you are going to learn this song. So listen to the song very short amount of time before you're going to learn the song. Okay, let me rephrase that. You need to listen to the song right before you're starting to learn it, because then you're just having all this knowledge in the very front of your mind. It's important, it helps you so much. And if you can, it actually really helps to listen to it a couple of more times than just this once. But I don't mean like, okay, I'm just going to make some dinner first or to walk the dog first. You actually have to listen to the song. You don't just have it in the background and you're like, oh, here's the verse and here's the chorus. You need to actually lay out the structure of the song and pay attention to the song. Don't just listen to it as in it's in the background of whatever you're doing. You actually have to actively listen to the song, and if you have to, you can actually write down when the verse and the chorus is coming, but the most important thing is that you actually really listen to it. You don't just have it on and listen to it like some here and some there, and you don't really get the structure of the song. You have to listen to the song like for reals. So now you have picked the song and you have listened to the song. Now you're actually going to start playing, and the dividing of the different parts in the song is actually quite varying between the songs, because some songs don't have an intro solo and some songs don't have a pre-chorus or whatever you want to call them, and some songs are really difficult in the beginning and some songs are really difficult in the ending. So it's not like you need to start from the beginning and learn the like chronological way through the song. this is how I structure a song when I learn it. I listen to the song and then I start sort of building this ground structure of the song, and that means mostly all the places there are chords or easier rhythm parts. That is the obvious first thing that I learn personally, because this actually helps you to be able to play along with the song, and there goes your very first point again, that you actually have to listen to the song a lot. If you can play along with the song, you're actually actively listening and actively playing the song as well as you are learning it, you're playing it, you're listening to it in the same move, and you're already just starting the ground structure. So that's really important, I think. And the ground structure can be taught in or learned in two different ways. You can actually use a tab, or you can just use your ears. And the personal way that I do it is that I like to use my ears for the most parts, but I use the tabs to sort of help me orientate where we're actually starting off. And the learning the actual, or not learning, but seeing on a tab where your sort of working area is, that really helps getting your ears started for where you're going to sort of play and look for notes and such. If you know that you're starting on a C major, that makes it a lot easier for the sort of rest of the song. So yeah, you can use both tabs and ears and everything. So yeah. So the ground structure, by that I don't mean like the intro, because the intro can be very inconsistent in terms of how difficult it is playing the actual intro. And Walk With Me in Hell by Lamb of God is a really good example that you're not always doing the best job structuring the song if you're always learning the intro first, because the intro in Walk With Me in Hell is beast mode. Oh my god. Yeah. But then again, the intro on, let's say, Psycho by Muse is a completely different intro, and it just is entirely differently to learn and play and everything. So yeah, there you can see that an intro is not an intro, and you can't consistently say that, okay, when you're learning songs, you start with the intro and then you move your way upwards, because an intro is not an intro. An intro can be really difficult to play or really easy to play, or everything in between. So try to structure the song by difficulty and not by chronologically. You're getting my point! So, now that you have sort of starting to be able to play along with the song, because you're learning the ground structure of the song, you can start moving on to a little bit more different or difficult parts. But my trick, it's not like I have copyright on this trick, it's just the personal way that I do this is that I play, okay, this sounds really weird, I play the most easy difficult part. So you have easy parts and you have difficult parts, and now you know all the easy parts, so you have to move on to the difficult parts. But you have beast mode difficult parts and you have easier difficult parts, and you're learning the easier ones now. That's sort of your learning step number 2. Ground structure and then easy difficult parts. So yeah, an example of a easy difficult part, and this is of course really sort of personal, what level you're on and what song you're playing and everything, but an example of sort of easier difficult part is the last solo in Planets by Avenged Sevenfold, which we can check out right here. So it's it's not the entire solo, but it's the principle that's sort of lying there. You can see that this is a more easy part, and so as you can see, you can call this planets thing, you can call that a guitar solo, but the same as with the intro principle, these solos are really inconsistent in terms of difficulty. So this planet's outro solo thing is actually a lot easier to learn than, let's say, the main solo in Master of Puppets. So, you can see that you are dividing it in terms of difficulty, and the easiest way to divide the song in terms of difficulty is actually just to listen to the song. Because the parts that you are like, this sounds difficult, if it sounds difficult, it's most likely difficult. And you actually have the other way around, that if it sounds easy, it can actually be quite difficult. But most likely you will be able to hear that, okay, this is a difficult part. Okay, this is an easier difficult part, or okay, this is actually a ground structure kind of movement. So yeah, let's move on to the third playing, learning thing. Yeah, which is actually learning the difficult parts. You have easier parts, you have difficult parts, you know the easy parts, you know the easy difficult parts. Now you have the difficult parts. And this is where your patient really gets to test itself. Because again, depending on the song you're actually picking, this can be quite challenging at times. And the important thing is that if you are running uphill, I don't know if that's sort of a saying, but if you're running uphill and it gets quite steep, sounds like I'm about to get real poetic right now, but if you are meeting if things get difficult, it will in difficult parts. If things get difficult, don't lose hope or bravery or courage or determination. You actually have to have the patience and have to have the self-acceptance to say that, okay, I cannot play this part, it's difficult for me to learn this part, but I am going to do it. And that's where you have to again be optimistic and again be realistic as well, because it's important for you to push through, but you also have to say to yourself that, okay, this is actually beast mode like times a million. I can't do this right now. An example of this is if you bought your guitar, let's say last week, and then you heard Through the Fire and Flames by Dragon Force. You can hear that it's a difficult song, but you can think that, okay, I am going to play this song. And all honor to you if you are going to play this song once in your life, but the week after you bought your guitar is probably not the right time to do this. But then again, if you picked the Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana and you're meeting some challenges with that song, you can hear that, okay, it is not the most difficult song, and all the 50 top lists of guitar songs to play when you're a beginner says that Smells Like Teen Spirit is a good choice, then most likely I have both the ability and the time and the everything to push through with this song. And I really encourage you to do that stuff. So yeah. So the last thing that I want to say is that the most important thing I believe with this particular structuring of songs that you're going to learn is that you're actually from the very earliest stages when you're learning the songs, you're actually able to follow along with the song, because you're not learning the most technical things first. You're starting off with the ground structure of the entire song, so you can sort of jump on and off through the entire song. And I think that if you're playing mistakes and you start over and over again on the same space, you will learn, if this is your problem area, this part you will know really well. to the point of you actually being sick of the song. So when you get to this point where you're actually making a mistake and you start over again and over again and over again, this is wasted time. Because this is your problem area and this is completely unknown. So with you learning a ground structure that sort of stretches through the entire song, actually helps you sort of build the knowledge of how the song is going to go when you are moving on to the more difficult parts to play. And you are also aware of every single movement in the song on a really basic level, but you are actually aware of it. So if you should, in a time where you can't start over again, if you should then fall out of it, you actually have a ground structure that you learned really, really early that you can always fall back upon if it should just be completely crisis. And I think it helps a lot to actually be able to play along with the song from an early stage on a technical level as well, because you are building the knowledge of the song and it's not as much in active listening. You're actually playing with the song and not just listening to the song. No matter how much attention you play to actually listening to the song, you're actually playing along with the song, which I think is an even more interactive, obviously, way of sort of participate in the music more than just listening to it. So yeah, that's I think that might be the best way that I can explain this. I have tried so many ways to explain the easiest way for me personally to learn songs, but it's quite difficult to explain it on a universal level because of the sort of really diverse song making and song genres and such, because you have difficult jazz songs which might not even have a verse, and you have the black metal songs which have an intro that's really like 8 minutes long, and it's then difficult to say that, oh, you need to learn this particular part first. So it's easier to structure it after difficulty, because every song has that in common, that they are some level of difficulty. If either they're novice or if they are really advanced, they all have some difficulty, and it's easier to divide them by that. And yeah, I hope this helps. And yeah, let me know if there's anything unclear or any more questions that you have. And I'll see you on Sunday.